Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Arja wins the die roll and starts us off. He draws, playing a tap Temple of Malice and scrying 1. Mechu's got a tap Bajuka Bog, exiling no one's graveyard. Max just plays a Vault of Champions. Callum's turn has him playing a tap the World Tree and ships it to Arja. Arja plays a Plains and casts a turn 2 Lotho. Mechu plays a Forest and casts Sylvan Safekeeper. Max plays out Yavimaya, giving everyone forests, and then casts a Scavenging Ooze. Callum's turn has him playing Indatha Triome, which comes in tapped. Arja plays a Windswept Heath, and then dashes out Ragavan. Going to combat, Arja hits Callum with Ragavan, exiling a Badlands off the top. In his post-combat main phase, Arja then cracks the Windswept Heath, losing 1, to find an untapped Godless Shrine, losing 2 more. He then casts Sign in Blood on himself, and this is his second spell for turn, so he gets to make a treasure from Lotho and lose 1. Mechu's got an island, and casts Spelunking. He draws as the enchantment enters, and gets to put a swamp into play. Max just draws, plays a Cathal Locthwain, and passes. Callum's turn has him playing an Underground Sea, and casting Esika, and passing. Arja plays an untapped Dragonskull Summit, and then casts Neriv. He then hardcasts Ragavan and passes. Matt's got Teval in his main phase, and then plays a Balaged Sanctuary. He passes after that. Max plays Nurturing Peatland, and casts a Bismuth Mindrenderer. Callum has a Snow-Covered Island, and then casts Purphoros Bronze-Blooded. Arja's got a Plains, and then casts Lightning Greaves. He follows up with an Inspiring Overseer, making a treasure off of Lotho and losing 1, and then drawing a card and gaining a life as the Overseer comes in. Arja then moves the Greaves onto the Overseer, and goes to combat, sending him at Max, and Ragavan goes at Callum. This is Arja hitting a Vampiric Tutor off of Ragavan, and he casts it, losing 2 to go tutor for a card to put on top. Matt draws and goes to combat, swinging Teval at Max. He returns an island to the battlefield after milling some cards, and gets a Zombie Druid token, and Max then takes 4. In his post-combat main phase, Matt then plays a Mystic Sanctuary, and puts Planar Genesis on top of his library, and then floats 5 mana. He sacrifices an island to the Sylvan Safekeeper to give his zombie hexproof, and then casts Titania, and as she comes in, brings the land back. This is his second spell, so Arja gets a treasure token and loses 1, and Mechu gets another Zombie Druid token from Teval. He then casts 6 and passes. Max plays Horizon Canopy and casts Betor. Going to combat, he swings the Mindrenderer at Callum. Callum takes the hit, and this has Max exiling off the top Purphoros God of the Forge, and then pays 4 life to cast it. With nothing else, Max passes. Callum's main phase has him casting Nylea Keen-Eyed, and then playing a Mana Confluence. He follows up with Birgi, and passes once she resolves. Arja's main phase has him moving the Greaves onto Neriv, and playing a Swamp. He then casts Mardu Siegebreaker, exiling the Overseer as it comes in. Going to combat, Arja swings Neriv at Matt, and the Siegebreaker at Callum, and this makes it an Inspiring Overseer, going at everyone. Arja then draws 3, and gains 3 off them coming in. And Max blocks the Overseer, and everyone else takes the hit, with the Overseer damage that connects doubling because of Neriv's ability. In his second main phase, Arja then casts Read the Bones. This triggers Lotho, losing him 1 life, and getting him a treasure token, and then scrying 2, losing 2, and drawing 2 from Read the Bones. Arja then casts Mardu Ascendancy, and passes. During the end step, Mechu sacrifices his Mystic Sanctuary and Balaged Sanctuary to make 2 5/3s thanks to Titania. Matt draws and casts Planar Genesis, getting to put a Verdant Catacombs into play. He then cracks it, losing 1 to go and find a watery grave, and gets another 5-3 because of Titania. Going to combat, Metya sends Teval 2 of his 5-3 tokens that can attack, and 6 at Arja. This has Metya getting shifted Woodlands to his hand because of 6, and Mystic Sanctuary to play off of Teval's triggers, making 2 zombies in the process. The Mystic Sanctuary comes in untapped because of Spelunking, which in turn allows him to put Valid Get Recovery on top of his library, making another zombie token. Arja then chumps both of the 5-3s, and takes the damage from 6 and Teval. After that, Metya plays Shifting Woodlands as his land for turn, and passes. Max plays a Collector's Cage, and goes to combat. He swings Betor at Matt, and the Mind Renderer at Callum. With the Mind Renderer connecting, Max exiles Kefnet and casts it for 3 life, and Perforos deals 2 to each of his opponents as Kefnet comes in. After that, Max moves to his end step, and puts 3 +1/+1 counters onto the Mind Renderer thanks to Betor's ability. Callum plays a tapped Ketria Triome, and then casts Ronus. He follows up with a Scarab God, and then plays a Haka Whispering Raven, and then the Scorpion God as well. Going to combat, Callum swings Ronus at Matt, and the Scorpion God at Arja. Matt chumps with a zombie token, while Arja takes the hit. Callum then passes turn. Arja's main phase sees the Jolly Balloon Man coming in, and he then moves to equip the Lightning Greaves onto it. Going to combat, Arja swings the Siegebreaker at Max, and Neriv at Matt, and gets to make an Inspiring Overseer coming in at each opponent thanks to the Siegebreaker, plus 2 Goblin tokens for Mardu Ascendancy going at Max. Before blocks, Max targets Timeless Witness in Metya's graveyard with the Scavenging Ooze, which has Metya responding, trying to turn the Shifting Woodlands into a copy of it. This has Max responding on top of that trigger by using the Ooze again to exile the Witness. Matt then activates the Woodlands and has it become a copy of Haunted Crossroads, and then lets the Ooze's triggers resolve. After combat, Arja then activates the Jolly Balloon Man on the Mardu Siegebreaker, and makes a copy of it, and as it comes in, exiles Neriv. He then casts Blasphemous Act. Max responds to this by activating Collector's Cage and targeting Betor. This has Max meeting the criteria for the second part of the cage, and he's able to cast the Hideaway card, which is Teferi's Protection, for free. With the wipe still in the stack, Callum uses the Scorpion God to put a -1/-1 counter onto the Siegebreaker that's a balloon, which is a 1/1, to take it out. He gets to draw a card, and Neriv comes back before the board wipes. The board wipe then resolves, and Arja's Overseer then comes in, gaining 1 and drawing him a card. Arja then follows up with an Esper Sentinel, and moves a Lightning Greaves to it, and passes. During Arja's end step, and before it changes back, Metya activates the Woodlands Haunted Crossroads, and is able to put some creatures back on top of his library. Matt draws Titania for turn, and casts her, and as she enters, brings back a Misty Rainforest from his graveyard. Max draws, playing a Silent Clearing, and casting Shadric's Silverquill. He goes to combat, and gets his Shadric's trigger to pump his team, and gives Callum an Inkling token. Max then swings the Mind Renderer at Matt, and Betor at Arja. Before moving to blocks, Metya sacrifices the Misty Rainforest, going to find a land, but more importantly making a 5/3 from Titania, and he then double blocks the Mind Renderer. Arja also chumps the Betor with Inspiring Overseer. After that, Max moves to his end step, putting 5 +1/+1 counters onto Shadric's and passing to Callum. Callum's turn has him drawing, casting Egon, and then recasting the Scarab God and passing. Arja plays a Battlefield Forge, and then loses 1 to cast her Mass Hysteria. He follows up with a Hollow Marauder. Going to combat, Arja swings the Marauder and Sentinel at Metya, but Metya casts an Obscuring Haze to fog him. After combat, Arja casts a Cloud Shift, targeting the Hollow Marauder. Once more he targets all of his opponents, and again Metya can't discard a card that costs 4 or more, so Arja gets to draw a card from him. Matt draws and plays a Courser of Krufix, revealing and then playing Breeding Pool off the top. He then replays Teval, which has Max responding by eating 6 from his graveyard with the Scavenging Ooze. Matt then passes turn. Max plays a Windbrisk Heights, which comes in tapped, and he hides away a card. He casts Blossoming Bogbeast, and then goes to combat. He picks the modes to draw off of Shadric's, and give Metya an Inkling token, and then sends both of his dragons at Arja, and the Ooze and Bogbeast at Callum. With the Bog Beast attacking, he gains 2 life and then pumps his creatures by +2/+2 and trample until end of turn. Ronus then blocks the Bog Beast, and Egon and the Scarab God blocks the Scavenging Ooze, with Ardra blocking Betor with the Hollow Marauder, and then casting Ephemerate. With the Marauder coming back in, Ardra picks all of his opponents, and after resolving the trigger, ends up drawing 2, but neither of the cards are an answer, so he just casts Shoulder's Edict on the way out to make everyone sacrifice a non-token creature. With combat over, Max moves to his end step, putting 6+1/+1 counters onto Shadrix, and gets his Bristleblood Farmer back with Betor's trigger, and passes. Callum draws, plays a tapped Jestmir's Garden, and then recasts Esika. Metio's turn has him drawing and going straight to combat, swinging Teval at Max. He brings back the Misty Rainforest for the trigger, getting the Zombie Druid token, and Max then takes 4. Max draws, and goes to combat. He makes Callum draw a card and lose 1 to Shadrix, and Max gets to make an Inkling token, and with the token coming in, it triggers Perforos to deal 2 to Max's opponents like it's been doing all game. And he then sends everything at Metio. Max sacrifices a food token to mill 3, and get the Bog Beast back thanks to the Bristleblood Farmer. And before moving to blocks, Metio activates the Shifting Woodlands to make it into a copy of Titania. He then sacrifices Misty Rainforest, losing 1 to get an island, and making a 5/3. Metio then chumps Shadrix with the Inkling token, and trades his 5/3 and Zombie with the Bristleblood Farmer, but still takes 5 off of Betor. In his post-combat main phase, Max then casts Celestine, the Living Saint, off of Windbreast Heights. And he then replays Blossoming Bog Beast, and takes Callum out with the Perforos trigger, but Perforos is then exiled. Moving to his end step, Betor gets back Llanowar Elves, and Celestine gets back the Archangel of Thune thanks to their triggers, with Max passing turn. Metio dredges Dakmor Salvage in his main phase instead of drawing, and he then goes to combat. He sends Teval at Max, and mills his 3, bringing back Misty Rainforest. Max then blocks with Celestine. Metio then activates Shifting Woodlands before damage, and makes it into a copy of Sir Conrad. Both creatures then get taken out, and Max takes 2 from the Sir Conrad triggers, but actually nets life off Celestine's lifelink. Metio then dumps the rest of his mana into Sir Conrad's ability, and manages to deal 3 more, but unfortunately has no outs. Matt then cracks his Misty Rainforest, losing 1, and going to find a card. He then passes, and Max knows that he's got him, making Metio draw a card with Shadrix's trigger on his turn, and winning the game. Game review time. So it's pretty fun to see 3 of the new dragons in one game, but I do think probably the strongest card was Teferi's Protection. Yes, it's a game changer, and it was pretty sweet that Max was able to get it from one of his hideaway cards. I'm pretty big on hideaway cards right now since a lot of people have been using them in the games to really good effect. Other than that, we got to see pretty much what everyone wanted to do with Betor putting counters and bringing stuff back, Teval milling and making Druid zombie tokens, Neriv getting to double the damage on attack and being all around scary, and Esika just, making lots of gods. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.